Copyright.
Somebody check that we're on, and welcome.
We have music.
Welcome.
Take a seat.
Oh, wait, no.
By the far,
By the ham.
and enjoy a fine brew with
What?
the Journeyman Questers.
Journeyman
Oh.
Oh, that's new.
I don't know what that one was.
The Journeyman Parakeet.
So, welcome everyone. Today is not a usual day that we stream, but we will be. We're doing it anyway because the summer.
We love D&D.
Because we love it. So, today we don't have a catch-up, so I will instead refresh us of the things that transpired last session.
It will be a short one.
It was a short session last time, and we had the Gypsies of Fortune reconvening and having a long rest in the Dock Rats' sanctum, hidden far beneath the West Docks. You rested, you feel much better, and you feel safe where you are. However, there was much still to be done in the city of... I'll turn off. There was much to be done.
Ooh, Butterflies in Love, a great song.
There was much to be done in Xanthar City, for you still had Celeste to essentially rescue. Eldama has asked of you a certain item to claim, to steal from the Guild of the Midnight Mercers. And so you set forth last session in the beginnings of your preparations for this heist. You went to the Crows, back to the Panrock Bazaar, to ascertain some, or acquire some amulets that would hide you from magical means, from prying magical eyes. You agreed on a price of 100 gold pieces per day, each amulet, and you wanted 2 days worth, which came to a grand total of 1,000 gold. On receipt of your boss, Randala, giving kind of her, essentially her signed signature, as they weren't willing to trade with just you. You needed to be part of the Dock Rats. And also they needed to go and get them, and you were to meet back in the morning of the next day to collect them. That's when you said.
Yeah.
So you could have 2 days from that point. And you made your way eventually back to the Dock Rats, where we will begin today's session. Rufus, having just done some training with Ganon, who he made short work of with his new blade, shining a bright green, the Sunblade, instead a burning kind of brilliant green light emanating from it. You learnt some techniques on hitting people in certain places and how to slow their movements, and you gained a small kind of little mini feat ability. Richter spent most of the time helping Numbers in the sort of a legislative documentation section of the Dock Rats. Essentially a small grubby room with some books and notes on certain criminal activities. And he transcribed a book which was like a short story in Celestial for Numbers, and gaining sort of his favour in that regard. You also got some personal information that Richter shared with you about the Guild of the Midnight Mercers and some other kind of relevant information that he found. And with that, you find yourselves, I'll say, the Grey brothers, you made your way back to the sanctum of the Dock Rats, and it would be probably midday-ish currently, unless there's anything you wanted to do on your way back. I'll fast forward it, and you'll all be back in the Dockrat Sanctum.
Is there anywhere we could pass by on the way back? That might be a good place to sort of scope out.
Like scope out what of relevance?
I don't know. Is there anything on our list that?
I don't know. You tell
places?
me. You tell me.
I will tell you.
All right.
Tell you what for.
Sassy.
Are we going to pass through the merchant ward at all?
You would.
There's a hound.
Busted by hounds.
A hound. So,
Wig.
yes, you would. The merchant ward, the 7th ward, is the ward that is. Let's have a look. Let me put these bits up. The merchant ward is the ward next to. No, it's the same ward where the Panrock Bazaar is. It's directly across the large canal from the Andriont on the eastern side, and it's where the others made their way through the merchant ward further east and saw the 12th ward beyond, which is where the brick chimneys and the working guilds were.
Yeah.
So yes, you would pass directly through the merchant ward.
Is there anything I know that it's the nocturnal nest in the merchant ward?
Oh, the nocturnal nest. You have no idea. You've just heard of where that of the name of that.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard of that name through
Numbers
and the information that Richter found.
Yeah.
No, all you had heard is that the Nocturnal Rest is somewhere where the Guild of the Midnight Mercers often have drinks with people to discuss business matters that isn't in one of the guilds.
Is there I'm not going to approach a guard, but is there a fellow who looks like maybe he knows his stuff? Just a
maybe
man about town.
matey.
You may have to either look through Ook's eyes or ask your brother to kind of spot someone that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just sort of stop on the corner somewhere where I can just observe the street wherever we are, and Ook just on my shoulder. I'll just walk through him, and I'll just use my perception that way, and he'll just sort of swivel his head around.
Make me a perception check then. First roll of the day.
I think it's a 23. I think I've got plus 11. It's around 23. I'll just double check, but go for it.
So the merchant ward is full of various different bazaars and markets. The streets are, in fact, I'll get up a picture for you all. If you imagine these streets here, this top one. So the streets are very much full of different vendors of all sorts. There's merchants selling all kinds, and there's all these big canvas and silk kind of sheets and covers, kind of covering all different areas of different market streets. There's carts propped up with fresh produce in them. There's people kind of haggling and shouting. There's lots going on. The main bazaars are the kind of focus of these areas, but the whole merchant ward is kind of full of trade and shopping, and it's very busy. It's one of the busiest sections, and standing just off one of the main kind of thoroughfares where people are seemingly buying various cloths and silks. You see a couple of a couple of gentlemen sharing a drink, standing outside of what looks to be some kind of like stall selling drinks, and they both look like wealthier merchant types.
Oh, he's gone.
I was literally just turning your fan on.
Dutch is kind of like lingering in the crowd, a bit lost as you walk through Ook's eyes.
All right, no worries. I'll like whistle Dutch. I'll whistle Dutch over.
You all right, brother?
As we're passing through the merchant ward, I thought it might be useful to see if we can locate a specific place that the midnight mercers frequent.
Like a local pub or tavern?
Exactly. It's called the Nocturnal Rest. I think it might be located here, but we're gonna have to ask someone. See the couple of gentlemen over there. Oh yeah, Dutch might actually know it, so that might all been for nothing.
You can roll me a history knowledge check.
Int, great. 12.
Unfortunately not, no. I mean, you imagine there are hundreds, if not thousands of taverns within the city entire. And it's been a long time. It might be new. It might be...
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Doesn't seem to ring a bell, so probably... Is it better for me or you to ask these noble types?
Well, I mean, both of us look pretty intimidating. However, you have a little bit more of the charm offensive than I do, so it might be better if you do. I mean, I'm happy to go over, but I might have to change my appearance to at least help me.
Good. Oh wait, didn't you wrap a rag round your eyes?
I did.
Oh, this is perfect. Come with me. And we're going to go over to the nobles.
They're just a couple of people sharing a drink. They're not nobles, are they?
Oh.
Do you say
They look like merchants, but they have they have rings and jewels. They're wearing colourful silks. They look like they're maybe on their break, or they look like they're from this area at least.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'll be like, excuse me, kind gentle sirs. I'm escorting my employer here to a tavern. As you can see, he is blind, and I regretfully do not know the way. Could you please point us towards the the fuck is it called?
It's called the Nocturnal Nest.
The Nocturnal Nest. Please, gentlemen.
They both turn to you, kind of looking you up and down. Fine gentlemen we are. You hear that? And they kind of like chuckle to each other. The Nocturnal Nest. It's close by. If you carry on down this street, maybe 300 yards or so, take a right, another left, and you'll see it. It is quite a lavish, large place. And he sort of looks at both of you again, more so at Dylan. May I ask your business there? Though it is no business of my own.
Then we'll keep our business to ourselves.
No, that's perfectly fine. It's not any grandiose reason. My sister Millie works there. I'm visiting Xanthar for the first time, and she told me to meet her there.
I'd like you both to roll me deception checks, please. Alternatively, one of you can roll with advantage.
Could I sort of, before I did that, could I sort of stumble a little bit, like as if I'm just really pretending that I'm blind, and accidentally like place a hand on one of their arms and cast friends on them, on one of them?
Make me a quick sleight of hand check then, in that case, first.
Sure.
I mean, I'm happy to make a deception.
18?
Yeah.
They don't seem to notice. One of them kind of catches your arm and says, "Oh, steady there, friend."
Thank you.
Roll me, so you can roll separately in that case. So Dutch, you roll me deception, and you get advantage now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I get advantage. Yeah. Can I actually find? Oh, there we go. That's really nice.
Damn it.
Ooh. It's a 21.
21 and Dutch.
I got a 10.
A 10. You feel maybe a little bit like they're maybe a little bit suspicious of you at first, but funnily enough, your brother comes in, grabbing one of their arms to steady himself, and the attention is straight off you. It is your sister. Well, of course. It is strange that you would not know where this tavern is, but this is your first time here.
I live
First
very
times
far.
for everything in this city. Please, my good friend here, he sells some of the best sweet wines. You must try. It is made with walnuts, and he tells 2 for my friends here. And the guy behind the sort of stall pours from. It's like a dark, really dark, rich, sort of chestnut-looking liquid, not thick, thin. Pours it out to 2 small kind of like wooden glasses, wooden cups, and slides them over. He takes them both and hands you one each.
I'm gonna give it a deep smell and look towards Dylan.
I apologize. I assume you're gesturing to Dylan. I assume your companion. He is allowed to drink.
Please let me take one. I've got a better nose for these things than Dutch. Oh, who was he asking? Sorry, he was asking if Dutch is allowed to.
He's asking whether Dutch is allowed to drink.
Oh. Well, yes, of course. Why would he not be able to?
It is you never know with these things.
I'll see you in a bit.
Can I insight check?
You certainly can.
Can I stab him in the cock under the table?
If you want.
No.
Uh,
I want to.
18.
You get the sense
19?
that you get the sense that, and you remember from times being in Xanthar that orcs, especially half orcs, and certain other races too, are often used in not as straight slaves, but there's almost like a slight hierarchy with race in the city. And
I think
half-orcs,
you were.
Half-orcs are often used as like butlers and servants.
I think you misread the situation here. I had to pay a lofty price for this gentleman to escort me. He is a fine warrior.
Oh, I did not mean to offend. It was merely. Anyway,
I am but a
please
simple
enjoy.
blind man.
I am sure. Oh, your first time here. Do you sip the walnut wine?
I smell it and I see if I can identify any poison in it.
You do.
You roll me a perception check or survival.
Right.
I'll give you either.
I'll go for perception. 28.
It smells rich and nutty and sweet, and you watching the guy, or actually you wouldn't have seen, but you sense
I wanted to be watching.
You sense the vat in which he poured it from is like what he's kind of selling to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it smells. No, you can't smell anything untoward in it.
Okay. Well, new experiences. Cheers. And I'll just knock it back.
Yeah.
They drink a bit of yours. Well, yeah, of course. May I ask, you have first time in the city. Where do you hail? I do not recognize your dialect, your accent.
I come from the Veramark.
I'll roll a little dice for him. The Vadamak. I've not heard of this place. It is.
It's far to the west. Very cold.
Right. Well, it's not cold here, and I'm sure you are glad for that.
One can miss it. I should be going.
Before you do, my name is Omid. Omid Nazari.
Omid, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for the drink. It was pleasant.
Omid.
Omid. O-M-I-D. Nazari. You,
However,
and your name?
My name is Draug.
Draug, then.
I unfortunately do not have much coin to spare, so as much as I would like to purchase one of your fine beverages, I cannot profess to afford such a thing.
Please, there is no need. A man such as yourself seems like you could be a useful friend.
I have certain skills. I do not know a way in which you could contact me if you would need such a thing, but nonetheless, it's nice to talk to a friendly person.
Pleasure was mine, and my friend here, of course.
And the name of your friend?
Firuz. And Firuz, he's just been kind of watching silently most of the time.
What is your relationship to each other, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, not at all. And Firuz kind of steps forwards. We are mercantile companions. We own small shares together.
Do I believe him?
You can roll me an insight check.
15?
Yeah, you believe him.
Now, as pleasant as this has been, we should really be on our way. I bid you good day.
A good day to you as well, Draug. And your friend. And you depart through the crowds. Dutch, looking back over your shoulder, you can see them they're both standing there chatting still, but Omid has turned and he's just kind of watching you as you walk away.
Give him a wave.
Where are you headed? Are you headed to where he said?
Yeah.
Cool. Not more than 5 minutes of kind of walking the bustling streets. You see a large 3-story tavern known as the Nocturnal Nest. It's kind of like dark wood. As the floors get higher, it has that thing where it's shelved, comes out over the street almost. And you can see there's a large kind of wooden plaque hanging and swinging, brightly decorated with what looks like a nest with 3 blue eggs in it. It looks quite fancy, not like noble fancy, not like where you've been staying in the Andriont, but it looks, if a traveller was to be, passing through, or merchants were kind of, it would be a place to do business.
So, this is the place. Should we take a walk around?
Yeah. I'm gonna see if anyone's playing any games. Can I do a perception check, see if anyone's gambling?
Are you going in?
Oh, we go. Let's let's not be hasty. Something about those men before. I don't know.
Yeah, they're either gang members or doormen.
We shouldn't try to engage with too many more people today. Not at least until we've got the amulets.
Yeah.
But we will return. But I was just thinking perhaps we should scope out the building.
Well, look for side entrances, windows left open. Yeah. Let's have a look around, go in with the others tomorrow or tonight when those two are fucked off.
Oh, the other two, we've walked away from those two, haven't we? They're like 5 minutes away.
Yeah,
they're
they're a few streets away.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have a proper looky, and then come back tonight or tomorrow?
We could head in for a drink, but I don't think we should do more than that. Let's scope out the building just in case, and then we can head inside for a quick one.
Make me both. I'll say either survival or stealth checks. I think like stealth will keep you kind of more unnoticed in the crowd, like you're not scoping the place out. But survival kind of does the same, I guess.
Can I be looking for stuff that I know I could break, like a door that like looks weak, as opposed to more Dexy shit?
Sure.
So stealth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, boy. 16 plus 7. What's that? 20. 24.
23.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
34.
34.
Yeah.
Both disappearing into the crowd, kind of in you're not hiding, but you're like hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And kind of casually scoping out the building. It's located on a corner, and there are just buildings rammed, up against it either side, like they're all connected.
So you can run along roofs.
So you could easily get to there from other roofs. From the street, there's just one big door that leads in through the front, and on the corner on the other side, as it goes round, there looks to be another door that they use to kind of load goods and things. It's like a smaller door. You can see one of the windows is open, and as you walk past, there's a kitchen inside, and there's kind of like smoke and things. It's slightly low, so the window that you're looking through is almost like slightly above head height. So you imagine the kitchens are probably in the lower floor in the basement.
Okay.
You carry on round, and eventually there's an alley further along, a few houses down, that you can bend into and get round the back. The alley behind is kind of dense. There's lots of like washing lines and various things kind of up. It's very tall either side, and the back of the tavern is quite extensive and also quite tall. Lots of different windows. Clearly, that's where like the kind of inn and lodgings all are. There are maybe a couple of windows completely ajar, much higher up. It would, if you wanted to kind of climb and break in, it could be possible, but and you wouldn't be seen from the street on this side.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing.
What are you doing now?
Head inside for a quick drink and just sort of listen out to conversation, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Sure. You head back round the front, and pushing into the kind of dimly lit interior, there's much noise. In fact, we should put some more
Taverna music.
Butterflies in Love, my favourite tune.
I'll put. I quite like this one actually.
Oh.
Who's drink? What drinks?
It's a great one.
Oh yeah, nice.
There's much hustle and bustle. People round tables chatting and drinking. There's more of a vibe of like of business and kind of like lunchtime drinks for merchants in here. There are classically still a couple of really drunk individuals. There's a dwarf in the corner, or well to the side, who's just deep in his cups. His black beard is kind of frothy with bits of ale. There's like lots of like almost dew in his beard, and his eyes are both kind of like swirling in different directions.
Yeah.
You can see him falling to one side, like continuously propping himself back up, like he's falling asleep, but he's not asleep. There's a bunch of like kind of multicolored merchant types, all kind of mingling and about, and you can see people getting up and getting drinks, and various kind of people with trays of kind of nibbles and food.
Is there like a place we could sit where we might get like a good sort of acoustically, we might be able to hear different conversations clearly? Or is there like a place we could sit near to like a group that look like they might fit the description of people that we're trying to locate?
For you, it's just a lot of noise in the room.
Yeah.
And it's hard with all of the people talking and clamoring to kind of gauge where
well, could I, once we go to the bar, could I walk through Ook and get him just do again like a rotation of his head so I can get a better idea of the layout?
Yeah. You get a good layout of the room. There's a couple of benches along the side. There's stools by the bar that you could sit at the bar, and actually the bar seems to be quite a good place facing away but still hearing the clamour behind you. Is probably one of the better places where you wouldn't be facing people and like you're looking at them. You sit at the bar, and after a short time a busy barman comes over. He's wearing like a kind of red hat that's flopped over, almost like a sleeping cap, and he looks quite youthful, and kind of sharp featured. And you notice Dutch the sharp point to his ears of a half elf. He turns to you both. Well, what can I get you?
2 pints, please.
Couple of pints it is. Anything else? No nibbles?
Do you want nibbles?
Just the drinks for now would be great, thank you.
You sense, and Dutch, you hear him kind of gulp quite visibly at looking up from cleaning a glass at both of you, as you do slightly stand out in terms of like you're armed. You
actually
look
Dutch,
fairly threatening.
Actually, Dutch, I'm feeling something. Don't think ale is quite gonna hit the spot today. What wines do you do? Do you do any good vintages?
Oh, well, I'm sure we do. I could have a look for you.
Please, something top shelf, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, something deep and red with berries.
Right. Well,
I'll just slide him a gold coin. Just trying to put him at ease a little bit.
He takes the gold coin. Seems pretty satisfied with that. Well, sirs, I'll be right back. He wanders off. A short time passes, and he comes back with a bottle of red. Putting it down, you can see. In fact, let's make this. Let's give this some lore.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Some fun.
Sorry, guys, we're really delving into the.
I love it.
An old vintage.
Chris in the chat was like, "You should have asked for the walnut wine."
So wine is good shit.
It does sound good.
I feel like walnut. If you made wine out of walnuts, it would be the most rancid thing.
No, I've had it loads. It's the most delicious shit I've ever had in my life. We get it from France. It's like.
Oh my god! Okay, I didn't know. I'm
so
obviously
good.
very uncultured. Sounds great, man.
It's like sherry, but it's like nutty sherry. Oh man, it's fucking good.
You know what I prefer to sherry? A good port. Now I fucking love port, man. Like,
tell me about my fantasy wine. Sorry, Mike.
On the bottle, it's got like a label around the outside in which you can see It's like a Viking style ship, or like a long ship, but more. It's like one of those like a what's it called, Josh? I just think of a trimbula, but that's not what is it?
Trireme.
A trireme. It's like a trireme. It's like a kind of old style.
It's like an old Greek ship.
Greekish sort of long ship. It's one of the ones that has like the painted hull at the front, like a big battering ram.
With an eye. With a little eye.
Yeah.
He puts it down in front of me and says, "Well, this is it is a bottle that we've got from Eugilius, from northern Eugilius. It's come a long way."
And
Can I check to see if I know if that's a place or not?
I'll have a
Sure. Both roll me history checks.
sweet. No.
10.
With a 10 and what you've seen and know Dutch, all you remember is that Eugilius is one of the other continents. So it's
So it's a place.
It's not even Beblia. Like Beblia is the continent you're on. Eugilius is like
Genius.
an entire. It's one of the other continents.
Cool.
Okay.
The reason
Sounds
why
fan-
the reason why you've heard about it is because you've heard either Nox or Richter via Nox talking about it, or Silas perhaps is from there.
Oh shit. Okay, cool.
Well, this certainly is something we must try, don't you think, Dutch?
Indubitably.
I'm sure that you can afford it, but I must check first that it is 200 gold pieces for the bottle.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Very well.
Wow.
I will have to request the money up front. I am terribly sorry.
No, absolutely. You can't be too careful with things of this pedigree and vintage. And I give him the gold.
Mark off 200 gold on a very delicious bottle of wine from a different continent.
Dutch, I think we
fantasy
should save some of
Ribena.
this for the others. Yeah. Just tastes exactly like that. You know, it's a hot day. Just a nice
It
cold
tastes like the
Ribena.
pink chill.
He pushes over. He pushes over to quite fine looking, almost like crystalline kind of glasses, and puts down like some napkins and some really nice things, and he brings over some free bread and kind of like
I was gonna say, what
balsamic
would you-
and oil. It's like
What
focaccia.
would
It's
you
really
get
good.
with it?
It's like
Yeah.
focaccia and balsamic oil.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh.
And he puts it down and says, "It is on the house." You can sense sort of around you, this has caused a little bit of a stir, and the kind of act of buying such
Fuck.
expensive wine. You can see a small group of merchants kind of looking over at you and not looking cross, not looking suspicious in any way, almost looking kind of like, who are these people? And one of them kind of looks over to you and raises a glass sort of towards you and goes back to his drinking.
As I pick up the daintiest wine flute, Dutch, with his ring-covered fingers as to be an improvised knuckle duster, will nod and raise a pinky as he...
The mercantile gentleman has he wears kind of silks of different colours wrapped around the top of his head, and he has kind of a long grey goatee. He's kind of an elderly man. His skin is leathery and tanned. It's sort of seen a lot of sun, perhaps on the road. There are those kind of like wise creases to a lot of his eyes. But there's also a lavish nature to the clothes he wears. He wears kind of like long draping colourful silks of different kinds, and you can see the glimmer of different jewels and chains about his person. Putting his glass down and looking back to the others, he turns again to you and beckons you over with a hand.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to gesture that I'm already with company. Bow and roll my hand as I return to the conversation.
I'll be like, that's okay. I'll sort of like do the sort of talk to Dutch, sort of like make the sort of gestures to Dutch as if like, I'll be like, that's okay. We'll head out. We'll go over. But before we do so, I'd like to catch the attention of the barman and ask who these gentlemen are.
He leans in and says,
I can't bless.
You will cast Bless? Yep. We have an Aiden.
Remember, Bless lasts a minute, remember?
Yeah, I know.
But we don't... Why are you blessing us? Oh,
before we can talk to the people.
Isn't it attack throws and saving throws?
It's attacks and saving throws, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to sort of head over slowly. I'm just going to sort of talk to Dutch as we head over, if that's okay. Sort of like in low tones.
Yeah, sure.
We should keep this brief. However, I have an idea. We should carry on with the same story that we made up to those gentlemen out in the mercantile ward. But we should talk about our very rich friend, Richter.
Yes.
Or we'll give him a different name and big him up and say that he might be interested in parleying with them and seeing some of their more sought-after wares.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Before you leave the bar,
Aiden's smile, I love it.
I like that prompt. I like walking into a room blind and being said, "Hey, charm these people immediately." It's like, hi.
You're not here. It's fine. This is all
also good D&D group. We'll strong arm our friend into this situation.
Before you walk over towards them, the barman leans in and says, "Oh, well, that is Well, that is, of course, Ardman Abedi.
Ardman Abedi?
Alderman.
Arman Abedi.
Okay.
Tanzarian.
Ardman
Abedi. Okay, awesome.
I believe he is one of the guild members of the Midnight Mercies.
Okay. Thanks, dude. I don't say that. I'm just thinking it in my head.
I'll hit him when we leave.
Yeah, I'll slide him another gold coin.
Oh, thank you. Don't forget your bread.
I'll like pop one last bit in my mouth and then be like, "That's okay."
It's really good. It's like rosemary infused focaccia.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
I don't know.
You picked the best bread, man.
It looks a bit cheap carrying it over to the table, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you're just like, yeah, it tastes so good.
I agree.
I think yeah.
I imagine Mike like turns with it in his hand, Dutch, turns with his hand and just like finishes it really quick and walks over with it in his cheeks. As you walk over, you have that conversation with Dutch, and then as you approach, you can see the people that are sitting around the table. They stand, and a couple of the other merchants kind of bow and leave, leaving Arman alone on the table. He says, "Come, please take a seat."
Thank you. It's a very kind offer of us to join you.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I could not help but notice that you, you bought a very, very fine vintage of wine, and you both have intrigued me.
Please, would you like to try some?
Oh, no, I have had it before, but it is all yours. You have paid for it with good coin. Tell me, where do you hail? What are your names? And what business are you in?
Well, I wish I could tell you a grander story. And as I do this, I'd like to sort of like gesture the bottle a little bit more, and if I could just brush his hand and cast friends on him.
It's a little hard to do as he's sitting kind of on the other side of the table.
Is
I
it?
imagine.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it would have
fine,
to be.
It won't work.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Play footsie with him.
Yeah, no, I'll go in for a handshake.
Pick
It'll be
him
fine.
up to the table by accident and be like, "Oh, sorry, we're friends."
Yeah.
I did want to say I wanted to help Dylan into his seat, being as he's pretending to be a blind man.
Yeah.
As we sit down, cast guidance.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I wish I had a grander story to tell. I'm from the Varamark myself. I'm merely this is my first time in Xanthar, and I really came to meet my sister, who's been living here for a few years. I don't profess to know too much about wines, but I have the coin to spend, and I'm intent on experiencing as much of the world as I can in these last few months of that I have left to live.
Roll me in a deception check, please.
When I said my name and where I'm from, could I reach over for a handshake?
Sure.
Okay, and I'll do friends.
So make me a sleight of hand check, because
okay.
I imagine you're kind of like trying to cast it subtly.
25.
It's as smooth as butter. Yes, so you can roll me with advantage then, your deception check.
Oh, and I'll use that D4 as well.
Yes, you are guided.
Oh yeah. Okay. 18.
18 for someone with a -2 in charisma.
Yeah. 3.
That's pretty good.
I actually have a bonus to deception, but it only negates the.
Oh, my deception is fucking high, man. Such a good liar.
He breathes a deep sigh, and you can smell the kind of like perfumes and aromas from him. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you are not in pain.
The pain comes and goes, but today is a good day. And my friend here kindly has taken me to this fine establishment, and have treated us to a fine beverage, as you can see.
Well, indeed, it is not often that someone orders with such exquisite taste. So the Varamak, that is many, many leagues away from here. I have
It's
never
been quite the journey.
I hear it is very cold and a dangerous place. Demons and frost giants and all sorts of adventure.
And as you can see, not the place for a man such as myself.
Well, I think what weapons do you have on you, out of interest? Like, what is visible?
I'll say you can see the bow. It's like maybe just the tip of it.
And the quiver, I assume.
The quiver is a bit more, I would say I keep hidden, because it's kind of an unusually marked quiver. I don't really want to draw too much attention to it. So I imagine I've got my cloak over it. And so you can see a bit of a bow, and that I'm the travelling man, so I'm not going to go defenseless.
A blind man who owns a bow is quite intriguing.
Well, the disease that I unfortunately have robbed me of my sight many years ago, and it has had the strange effect of honing my hearing. So I find myself still quite the good shot. And it would be unwise to travel such a far distance unarmed. And I'd rather go unnoticed rather than draw attention to myself. So if I do need to protect myself, I can do it at a distance.
Very wise, indeed. Very wise. And you have a faithful companion here to assist you.
He is, since I have enlisted my friend's services here, the journey has been made a lot more easy. I can't help but notice, and I feel like I may have disappointed you. I'm not a wealthy man, although I do have a fair amount of coin to spend in these, like I previously mentioned, last few months of my life. However, I do have one friend. His name is Hammond Churchhunt. He's a searcher of antiquities, and the barman couldn't. He mentioned to me that you're a member of a guild. In fact, I plan to meet Hammond on the morrow. If you gave me your blessing, I would love to talk of this meeting, and perhaps we could arrange some kind. He could arrange some kind of meeting, if that would. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I do feel that maybe I've disappointed you with the fact that I'm no merchant.
Well, I mean, a man of exquisite tastes is something that we are always interested in. We do not merely trade, but we have buyers such as yourself, esteemed buyers who wish to come to us for some of the most exquisite goods and rare goods that you can find. And if it is not the guild that has it, I can put you in touch with someone else, I am sure. What is it, friend, that you desire more than anything to do in your life, the short time that you have left? Do you wish to drink the finest of wines, or do you wish to see or smell or touch the finest of things? Perhaps beasts of different kinds that you wish to hear.
Apart from spend my last few days in the company of my sister, I have always had a fascination with artifacts. The rarer, the more valuable. Well, not necessarily the value comes into it, but artifacts of intrigue. I have had the chance to see a few incredible things in my time, but I ramble. I apologize. It is hard for me to explain, but something about holding something or seeing something, being in the presence of something that has existed for many years and perhaps possesses a power beyond that which the mind can imagine. I don't know, I've always had a fascination with such things, and when my eyes were still good, I would read about such things.
Perhaps the guild can help you there. And not only that, but we have many contacts within the city that we could maybe organize a meeting of sorts for a wealthy man such as yourself and your friend that you have talked of, this Hammond. Perhaps now is not the best time. We have only just met and you have yet to drink much of your exquisite wine. But tomorrow, if you are free, perhaps in the morning, we could meet back here and I will bring a few of my esteemed guests and friends.
The morning would be excellent. However, I do find my bones are quite weary at such a time. The morning is still okay, but perhaps we could push it to closer towards the midday. Would that be possible?
I'm sure it would.
Listen, my friend Hammond, I received notice of his arrival in Xanthar yesterday. If it's okay, I'll bring him along as well.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a very kind offer. I do have some gold to spend. And like I said, I wish to see what I can in these last few months that I'm alive.
Well, you have come to the right city. There is nothing you cannot do or see in this city. Nothing.
Well, the excitement of this meeting has tired me quite. Dutch, would you escort me back to Beldamas? We can save them. We can drink the rest of this wine, and I'm sure that Hammond would like to try some himself.
So I'm sure Hammond will be delighted with what we've selected. And I'll pop the bung back in, slide it into my knapsack, and off we fuck.
Pleasure. And he extends a hand out. You can sense it there.
Yeah.
He looks towards Dutch to kind of prompt you that you're shaking a hand, and you feel
Dutch just gives me a little push, and I'll just go and shake his hand.
Yeah.
And he nods towards you, Dutch.
A nod.
And you, with that, you leave. Where are you headed? Back to the...
Yeah, back to the hideout, I think.
On the way,
Yes.
could I possibly have a look for the old tattoo shop?
For the old
Near
tattoo shop.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, sure, you can. Roll me an investigation check on your way back.
Oh, shit. 9.
Maybe your mind's preoccupied, but you're not sure where it was. You'll find it at some point.
I'd like to keep an eye out for being followed.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. I'd just like to sort of sense, if that's okay, with the blind sense, if anyone's coming, sort of a figure is continuously within that 50-foot radius.
Sure.
22.
For a time, yes, while you were in the merchant ward. But as soon as you left the ward, no longer.
Okay.
What is everyone else doing while they're heading back?
I'm going to speak to Randala.
Okay.
I'm going to go find Randala.
You wander around, but you're unsure where it is that she stays.
Okay, I'll ask. Can I see numbers, or is it Gammon?
Gannon.
Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon's hanging around the kind of mess.
Gannon. I'll ask him where she is.
I'd like to imagine that Rufus is probably with Gannon, maybe sharing a drink and patching up each other's wounds from the scuffle.
You're both kind of sitting, sharing some tales. Wait, what? You want to see Randala?
Aye, if I may, I'd just like to speak to her.
He kind of looks you up and down. Don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, well, it was honestly just a friendly chat. But I can understand. Is she busy?
I don't know, but she don't see strangers.
Right. Well, it's not urgent. Where's Richter?
Oh, he's over there. There he is. He slept
in. Okay.
He's having another nap.
It's good to see you're up and about.
Oh, that celestial fairy tale I translated yesterday left me rather sleepy. How fine's the day for you?
Good question. What have I been doing in this time?
So you arrived, you slept, you awoke kind of like mid to late day.
Yeah.
And then... Oh, yeah, good point.
How long has it been?
Maybe it's not... Yeah, I'm trying to think. So you slept... And you slept really late. So you slept into, like, the next day. You slept early. And then... No, it's still that same day. So it's late. No, did you sleep again? Fuck, I've forgotten. I should really remember.
I don't remember sleeping again.
No, we haven't slept again. I slept
once.
These guys slept through to the middle of the day, didn't they?
That was it. So it's you know what? It's evening time. Oh no, you did sleep again. You did sleep again because Ruthus did the training until late again, and so you have slept.
Okay. I feel certainly refreshed. That was quite a fiasco in the spire. I'm just glad that you managed to get out. Proving yourself.
Sorry, you were
I was going to say you're proving yourself quite wily and full of surprises.
Certainly not skills that the Order ever imposed on me, but we couldn't have escaped without you as well. I must say, I was nervous when we first noticed that scrying tool. However, it does seem that perhaps this place is protected against such magics, would you say?
I've been checking and there's nothing. I can't see anything, which is good. Do you mean, Richter, come with me. Just let's go out of the room. I'm gonna lead you out, and we'll find a quiet spot. What's going on with your arm? Is your arm okay? The tattoo, that strange marking that was left on it. Have you noticed any changes?
None have occurred to me. To be honest with you, Zook, it did in fact leave my mind for a time.
Well,
speak
good.
Of the mark that I received from the demon.
Aye, yes, that flew out from.
I have a feeling that when the contract was voided by some rather scurrying actions on my part, I feel that perhaps whatever curse may have been laid on me with that ink may have been left benign, but I cannot be certain. It could even be worth having it removed or even built upon. Perhaps I should ask Dutch for some correcting work.
Could do. Well, essentially I wanted to speak to you because although I can't remove it, as it seems to be bound quite tightly to your body and soul, I can perhaps do something to mitigate any negative effects it has. If those twins come looking for us, I have a way of keeping them away from you, as I feel like this might be the key for them to find us, and they might come straight for you as the marked one.
I'm almost more worried about brother Draug, but we are always together, and I am marked, as you say.
Just so you remember correctly, the mark inflicted by the demons during the fight where you died was left on Dylan. The mark that Zook is referring to with you was was left on you during the Soul Reach section where you
Tellura, wasn't it?
Tellura Key when after Celeste had her child, you all stood in the room with her as her eyes rolled back and someone spoke to you through her.
Right.
And shadows whipped out of her mouth and around the room, and you weren't technically there, remember, Aiden?
Right.
But we did tell you the next session. You were the one who failed. You were the only one who failed their saving throw. And so your arm was racked with this shadowy kind of like coiling, like all of the people you saw.
Understood.
That were like gashing their arm, and shadow was coming out, and they.
Oh,
and then when they died, they turned into a shadow. That same
strike
thing
that
is on
last
your
bit
arm.
of dialogue from the record, then. Okay. I've got a cool sleeve tat. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Okay,
that.
strike the previous
saying,
dialogue.
I've got a cool sleeve tat. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Strike what I was previously saying from the record. Yes. You're right, Zook. I am concerned about this mark that I received during Talura's transformation. So far, it has not stirred, and I have not seen shadows whipping about me in any way. However, you are right, and any protective glyphs you could offer would be very, very well received.
Well, as soon as the others get back, if they do manage to acquire these scrying, anti-scrying things, I'd like to use one to possibly nip out and get some components. Nothing complicated. And then I'll be right back and I'll get it done.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It will help all of us in the grand scheme of things. So I think it'd be a good idea.
The good of the gypsies.
I guess we'll return to Rufus. See what he's up to. Floating over.
No way. What? So he like fell on his back and he ate a load of shit, basically.
Pretty much. He was the laughing stock of the nobility for quite some time.
I didn't know nobles had so much fun. I thought it was all pomposity and, I don't know, riches.
It is most of the time, but every now and then a little gem like that happens.
Sounds like you sure gave it to him, Rufus.
I sure did. Friends. And Rufus gets to his feet. Gannon, it's been a pleasure, but I must speak with my friends on a matter now. And Rufus walks away towards the other two. I hope your chat was okay. Is it anything I should be concerned about?
Not particularly. Merely doing some protective work to ensure that the gypsies are not hounded by threats that we cannot focus on at this point. How goes your sparring, both verbal and physical?
Right. Well, if it is something important, then do let me know if I can help. Whatever your chat was about. The sparring was entertaining, nonetheless. Gannon here, looking back towards him, showed me a thing or two. Turns out there's more than one way of fighting. More than one way that I learned, anyway.
The great Rufus Suncrest taught something interesting.
Turns out you can teach an old dog new tricks. Friends,
dirty maneuvers.
So what was that? Sorry.
Learning some dirty maneuvers.
Indeed, filthy. Not one that I would like to engage in certain situations, but sometimes
I share a dirty nod.
And you receive a knowing nod in return. Friends, while we are here without a task, I had a thought this morning when I woke. Last night I dreamt of the king, and I dreamt of the lich surrounded by stones, by the stones, laughing maniacally in the frozen tundra. It concerns me that we still do not know what the outcome of it gathering these stones is. And I had an idea. Do you remember when we came together with each of our stones in hand and were transported into some place?
Yes.
Aye.
I suggest perhaps we should go somewhere private. Perhaps the sparring ground. Come with me, and I'll lead the way down to the sparring ground.
Yeah, following.
Make your way down.
I must say, it was an interesting experience, but when Dylan's item joined the circle, the tone changed, did it not? The one held within that weapon is different.
Indeed. However, my thought was that why don't we ask them themselves what will happen if they come together? What ill can be done?
Do
It's
you
true.
know how to contact the king? Is there a way?
Only when we concentrated our combined stones together. Perhaps if we try again, we'll be transported to that place.
That's
Certainly can't hurt to try, though I do remember every time we've talked to them in the past, they have mostly spoken in riddles. Your king and his constant line about the recurrence of things, the others. Inscrutable. A noble's noble.
possibly clues nonetheless, even if we have to decipher them.
Exactly.
I think it's worth trying.
Some information is better than none.
Aye. Well, shall we?
There is no cost. Why not?
I'll
Let's-
take off the circlet and hold it out in the middle.
Albert out.
You all touch tips, and no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sound of
Sword.
rushing air fills your ears, your head, your eyes. Everything fades to black. And you can feel hot air kind of like rushing past you. Your cloaks and clothes billowing about, all rushing from this central point that slowly begins to glow and glow and glow, until above you, ripping across, almost like tearing open, a sky so enormous and tumultuous, with clouds dark whipping across in kind of like an almost fast forward fashion, just continually like moving above you. You hear this crashing of waves as spray hits your face. You wipe it away and red blood is on your hand. You stand on a dark rock. All around you, a churning sea of red blood. Atop the rock, maybe 5 meters off, sits a small, shabby-looking tavern with a glowing light from within. You all have your hands out, standing in a kind of triangle, but nothing is in them. You have no shield, no circlet, no halberd.
Do we?
Tavern last time, were they not?
Aye. But I don't think we could hear what they were saying. I hope it's different this time. Let's try.
Well,
Um,
shall we?
float up to the door.
Zook, you don't float. You are walking.
Oh.
And you do not feel the strength sapped from you. You feel your old self. Richter, you don't feel that presence of the halberd at your side, that thrumming. Instead, the thrumming is kind of like around. A crack of thunder cracks against the chimney of the tavern, and you can see bits of the chimney kind of splinter off, and you hear a slight yelp from within the tavern.
Okay, moving faster.
You open the door and you see a dimly lit interior of a tap room, and poking up from behind the counter at the bar, you see a handsome-looking kind of mop of scraggy hair, little bit of growing in sideburns, kind of rich doublet, a bard-type character. You see Mr. Jack.
Hello, Mr. Jack.
He turns to you. Friends. Friends. He puts his hands up. Oh, friends. Welcome back.
I go up and give him an embrace.
He comes round the bar. He kind of gives you a bit of a hug. Oh, careful. It's stormy outside. Come on in. Let me pour you a drink.
And I don't mean to alarm you, but there is in fact a lightning breathing dragon floating outside. We have to scurry in here pretty quick.
Roll me a deception check.
That's a natural 18. So 23.
He goes up. It's not going to get past me, young Zook.
It nearly did, though.
He clicks his fingers and mugs of kind of amber-looking glass, like an amber-looking ale, pop into your hand. You know, I used to own a mug that would pour ale forever. You could just keep pouring it. It would exist and keep going. It was amazing.
Wondrous.
I must have misplaced it at some point. A different
I
time,
see.
a different life.
Indeed.
Speaking of time, Mr. Jack, how much time has passed since you last saw us, would you say?
Time. There is not much time. And you turn, and the rook is like standing there. Even though he's inside, his armor and kind of cloak about him is still kind of like blowing as he looks kind of pensive. His squarish kind of salt and pepper beard. He turns towards you, and you feel the kind of the thrum of the Heartstone halberd, but he doesn't wield it. Time does not.
He sort of is it.
Time does not pass the same in here, and that brother is not here either.
Have you been spending the whole time together?
They sort of look towards each other, and Jack smiles. I'm not really sure. I think sometimes it doesn't really work like that, I don't think.
Perturbing.
When the rook appears as well, Rufus immediately gets down onto one knee, bowing his head. Oh, great spirits of the stone, it is a pleasure to be in your presence.
Jack
Please.
kind of like moves his kind of, he's got like that kind of Jacobean rough style kind of doublet, kind of like. But the rook just looks down towards you. Do not kneel. Stand. You are strong.
Very well. Rufus gets to his feet. Is the king here also?
You hear the creak of the stairs, and holding the railing, kind of moving slowly down the stairs, you see a very frail old man in old armor. His chain, his like glorious sort of chainmail armor, seems to be loose about his slightly skeletal body, heavy upon him. He walks with the kind of like unease, like he is about to topple over of someone who is ancient. And he looks up towards you, and you can see his eyes are just cataracts, like they're just kind of washed over grey. It's funny, really, how
History repeats itself?
Brother, pour me a drink. And the Jack moves over, giving him a drink, but he can't hold it, and he just lifts it up to. He has a little sip of the amber liquid. He just spills down his chin into his magnificent old beard. Yes, you called for me.
We did. We would like to ask you all a question, if we may.
Who am I to stop you from asking the things that must be known?
Firstly, we thank you once again for granting my companion Zai the power that resides within each of your stones.
Ah, yes, it's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, well,
yeah.
You're most welcome. The rook kind of looks over towards Jack.
Are you aware of the race that we are in? who else is seeking the stones?
I believe so, says the rook. I only know what he knows, and he looks towards Richter.
So you know that, you must all know, that we recently spoke to a seer of sorts, a divinator of some fashion. And when asked about the stones, she revealed that the one who we are racing has found stones in a hot location, but has not yet been able to claim them. Do you have any insight into what that could mean?
We know that they mean ill. There is nothing good that could come of it, but pray, tell us, we do not know what will happen. Do you?
Well, no, sorry, we don't. I mean, we're not ourselves. And the rook kind of looks pensive and almost like angry himself. We are but a fragment of what we once were. And they both kind of turn and look towards the king, who now is sitting on a bench. Yes. We are but shards.
And what were you before you were but shards, when you were together?
We were whole. We were one.
You mean you're all the same person?
Well, it's been a very long time since that. But at one point, I think we were. We were when we were, I don't know, proper, not like this. But there's no going back to that. I mean, I'm almost just a memory, I think.
Would you want to go back? Any of you?
No. There is no returning. You must strive forward, pushing on.
Are you in contact with your other brothers and sisters?
You think us more powerful than we are. You have our power. Our power resides on what is left of it, within the items that you possess.
I think I understand that you are perhaps shadows or reflections of a power that once was, now held as a memory inside these stones. But, do you remember how many of you there were? How many must be collected? Or any of their names? Anything?
I do, says the king. I am not the eldest. But I am the eldest here. But before me there was one. Our eldest brother. You mortals knew him as the Ace. Yes, wild. Pure chaos. Then there was me, the king. I am the goodness, the just, the honourable, the leader. I tried to take the reins of the others. After me, our foul sister. Well, she's not that bad, is she? I mean, it had been a while, and She is. She has committed atrocities in her life, says the rook.
The one who was here before?
The one that your other friend possesses. She is not to be trusted. Come now, Rook. She's one of us. And an odd one out at that. Indeed.
Mr. Jack, why is Rook saying that? What has she done?
Well, I can't really remember, but I remember it was bad. Things outside of this realm are fuzzy. I don't really remember much, and I think when I try to, it becomes a bit, and there's a loud crack of thunder.
You are aware that our companion possesses the Stone of the Queen.
Yes.
Then do you know who it is that possesses the other stones that have been claimed?
I have not heard from my other brothers since we died. I held on for a long time. I don't really remember.
How did you die?
Well, for what he's told me, I died, the Jack says. I was killed. Killed like a mortal man by my own brother. Would you believe it?
Oh, that's terrible.
And I too, says the Rook. We all were, save for him, and he points towards the king.
Which brother?
The eldest.
The ace.
Yes.
Do you remember why?
We had wronged him. We had wronged him, but he was nothing but raw energy and power. The first. And we all did it, and they all kind of looked down. We imprisoned him. Kept him away from the world. But he was freed eventually.
The three of you assist us, you lend us your strength. But is that because your goals align with ours? Or is it simply because we wield your physical manifestations in our corporeal world? If the other one, the dark one that we are racing, is able to reach all of your brothers and sisters, will they willingly assist him, or will he have to fight them? Will some of them oppose him? What is the nature of you?
Well, first answer to that, lots of questions within that to unpack. But first, I think our goals align in terms of you have proven yourself. Certainly Zook proved himself to me, and I doubt that any of the others would hand over their power without someone being able to prove themselves to them. And the Rook says, yes, I will only give my power to those who truly see. There is no right or wrong way. There is only what you can do. He looks towards you, Richter. You have this, as did some of your forebears. It is not the first time I have been wielded.
Could the others
do what must be done.
Could the others be forced against their will?
I doubt it. But we are all different. She is likely the most evil, if there is such a thing. But you already have her. And whoever it is that harbors my brothers does not. But there
Safe
are...
to assume he will be hunting her then.
I believe that whoever is after the rest of us will hunt us all. And you asked what might this individual have to gain? Well, it is unknown to us, but it is funny, really, how history repeats itself.
Well, gentlemen, I think that's it then. I think, like a stream turns to a river runs into the sea, we have reached the end of this voyage.
Indeed.
Well,
thank you for your time.
The others, my brothers. There are still many out there. We have no way of seeing them again. My one wish would be to see all their faces here once more. And both the rook and the jack nod. Yes. All of them.
And will we do our best to make that happen?
There is one. One that died. Died before. Was not killed by our brother. Was not killed and fractured into this, what you see now. Truly died. The bishop. You will not find him.
He died as any other mortal would.
He died at the hands of a demon.
A demon, you
the
say?
demon?
What did you say, Aiden? Sorry?
Know you this demon?
I do not. I was not there. But I sensed it. I sensed the evil long ago. But I could not. I do not remember.
I think we know how you feel, and we're sorry for your loss. We too have struggled against odds too great, things from other worlds, horned beasts, conniving, devilish creatures. We've lost people. They may have returned, but we know the pain. I guess we can only hope that history stops repeating itself one day.
The king smiles. Yes. There will be some that will help. There will be others harder. There are some that I imagine are already beyond helping.
Who would be the most amenable to helping? Who should we look to first?
Oh, well, probably Gerasmus, says the Jack.
Gerasmus? Is that his name?
The pawn. And the king kind of nods. Yes. Yes. Gerasmus was always a follower. We spent spent much of our time together.
Would you say that he had any affinity to something like the moon, or the sea, or the flames?
They all kind of look
At
towards
all.
you. Why would you ask that? They all say in unison.
Well, because you all seem to have an affinity with stones, with elements.
They all kind of look at each other and shake their heads.
No?
No, I'm my own person. What?
But you don't feel any connection to the sky, Mr. Jack? I mean, your whole experience.
Yes, I love the sky. I mean, it's wonderful. It's everything, really.
Aye.
Then what would you say the pawns everything was?
Oh, I don't know. King, you know him best. King. Erasmus was a follower, but also a great mage, as are we all. And the rook kind of shakes his head. Magic. He was always fond of illusions. Yes. The
Tashi.
unknown. Yes.
No, sorry, you go ahead. You were saying something.
Just said the unknown.
Does Richter, because I remember this, I meant to remember it, but I do now. Does Richter suddenly remember, are these names that they all seem to have and share, does he recall them from the time he spent in the library playing that game with Nox?
Yes. Yeah, chess.
Yes. Chess. And Richter sort of just murmurs chess out loud. And then he says, "You mentioned a pawn. I seem to recall, in the brief time I spent playing this game, a pawn may be a small unit, weak, a follower, as you say. But should a pawn reach the other side of the board, it can undergo a transformation of sorts. Would that..." But Richter realizes he's just sort of thinking out loud. He doesn't have a question.
The king abruptly stands with a kind of a vigor. I hear something. I hear something. And he strides over to the window, and you watch as he moves across the room, his form fills out. He becomes that of a healthy man. Thrusting open the shutters, wind pouring in like the gale. He stares
And
out.
follow behind him.
Roll me a perception check. Anyone who's also looking
same,
out the window.
Same here.
Yeah, also following. Yeah.
What time of day is it?
It's always just like overcast grey. There's like no sun that you can specifically see.
15.
Natural 1.
28.
Richter, unfortunately, staring out. For Gnome Ruthus, the window is higher than his head, so you just can't see anything. Richter, you stare out, but the sheen of the light kind of reflecting off of the blood ocean is too much. But Zook, with your gnomish eyes, you see it too.
I scurry up Richter's back.
Far off. You don't hear it, even though the king said he heard it. Far off, you see something. Something dark just kind of like submerge beneath the blood.
What is that?
The king spins round. I believe they may have found us. The rook turns to you and says, "You must leave!" And as he shouts leave, the vision kind of like vanishes. You find yourself kind of flying backwards through the doorway and you plunge into the sea of blood. You all open your eyes sweaty, lying on the ground, kind of on your backs, away from each other, holding your various items above you, kind of in front.
We dry?
The flecks of blood from the spray are still on your face, Richter. Not the others.
Ooh. Rufus lays panting on the floor for a moment and then sits upright looking at the others. Are you okay? Are you well?
What?
Yes, but Zook, you are a dab hand at alchemy, are you not?
What do you need this now?
Could you take take samples of these flecks that are on us?
Zook, you have no idea what the fuck he's
gather them in a vial?
Huh?
There are no flecks. You have no idea what he's talking about.
What are you talking about? We're covered in blood.
Richter.
There's nothing there.
What? The ocean, it's all over us, isn't it?
Wait, I pull Richter's eyelids up and see if he's like they're bloodshot or if he's feeling a bit insane or something. Are you well? It could be the illusion. It may be lasting longer than you think. Just sit down, breathe. We need to digest what we just saw. There was a large shape.
Rufus gets to his feet and starts pacing a little bit, trying to think about what's just happened. My friends, by going there, did we create a place to be found in? Did Bren or whoever has the other stones sense our presence there and entered that place themselves?
I think so. That would be my guess. I feel that while we hold these items in our hands in this material world, perhaps they are safe. But when they go into that place, it is perhaps some kind of nexus, some immaterial meta realm that perhaps they could be found in.
What if...
Found and claimed.
But then what if Mr. Jack and the king and the big rook man, what if they're fighting, dying on the other side of the veil?
They're here, Zook. I think they're here. I think they're in our hands. My suspicion is they don't even meet unless we do that. That would be my guess.
Victor is right.
I look down at the circlet. Has anything changed about it?
Nope. No visible change. There's a slight, kind of the same slight kind of like crackling of energy, of storm, but it's always been there. You still feel the thrum of the heartbeat, and the Aegis is still shedding a bright light from it.
Looking around, are we being watched? Has anyone come into this?
No, interestingly not. But the braziers that were lit have died down to a simmer, indicating you may have been here for a time. And at this point, the brothers have returned, and I'll say you've come down to find them all standing in the training grounds beneath, all looking kind of like a little bit shocked and out of sorts.
So who won then?
Oh, it's not quite what it looks like.
Honor won.
Someone with a greater understanding than us.
Is everything okay?
We attempted to contact the spirits within the stone. And then we'll fill them in.
Okay. You fill them in.
I'm not sure if we learned anything there.
So it seems like Malik and his brother might have found a way to travel to the realm in which the spirits of these relics reside in. Or at least reside in when you travel to this place. It's complex.
They have stones as well, so I imagine that they can go there just as we can through conjoining them, possibly. Tashi, was it only one shape that I saw?
It was a large, dark shape that almost like dipped and then went down into the blood,
Hmm.
like a real ways off. So it was big.
Kind of
whatever it was.
reminiscent of like a whale.
Yeah, that's the closest thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no visible like fins. You just saw something big and dark.
Hmm.
Sin.
There was some kind of energy. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely one thing, and it was large.
Well, this
We should be careful about doing that again.
Aye.
Brother
It's
Drow,
only
did you
cements.
fare well on the surface? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, well, I was about to say, this only cements in my mind that we must do what we can to leave Xanthar City and continue our search for the stones. We must find
Speaking of
Celeste. And fortunately, myself and Dutch were fruitful. Our expedition was fruitful. And I'll fill them in on everything.
Cool.
So, Richter, my plan is that tomorrow you will meet with Armin. And you will, if you let him know that I was taken ill, and therefore I could not come myself, I think that would be best, because I believe mine and Dutch's skills could be best put to use elsewhere. And
Agreed.
Besides-
You've already vouched for me.
we need to find what we can about the cubic gate. And whatever information might else be useful. You should not go alone. I think Rufus might be a good choice, however he's not able to spin lies like the rest of us.
Yeah, not being able to
That is
lie is
true.
kind of a biggie.
I
Who are
have
you?
a
Oh, I'm Rufus Suncrest.
No, I would not allow my manservant to speak. That would be a privilege that he is not afforded. If I was to take Rufus.
I feel like Zook might be a good companion. He has skills to enhance your persuasive capabilities. I'm sure he can get you
Indeed.
out if need be.
Agreed.
And your stealth when needed.
But you
I'd
must
be
think
more
of the
than happy to.
backstory. Like I said before, the name that I gave you falsely, as you so like to look like him on many occasions, is Hammond, and I just quickly came up with the second name, Church Hunt. Is that what I went for?
Yeah.
I can't
Hammond
remember.
Church.
yeah, church hunt.
Yeah,
Fucking
Hammond
brilliant.
Church.
Hammond church.
Chunt.
yeah.
Fucking
Right.
chunt.
Reminiscent of Sir Londis Mulberry.
Oh, you can
It's
call
very
your mum
reminiscent.
chunt, and it's not a real swear
Long-
word. That's good.
Oh.
I'd be more than happy to go. And after all, Mr. Jack has taught me a thing or two about trickery. I feel like I can play a part decently enough.
You will
But
need
first
to
on
be-
the... Sorry, go for it.
No, you
go
please.
for it. No, you.
Zook, you may have to abandon some of your natural inclinations. You will have to foster a false love of gold and arts and treasure. Is this something you feel that you can pretend to do?
Do everything against my very nature?
Yes.
How hard can
Opposite
it be?
Zook Day.
Absolutely.
This individual, he clearly, like my backstory, relishes after powerful items of such. It might be best that you hide your halberd and, well, the fact that you're flying, I suppose, but it might help, but
No,
Do not-
actually, I think you're right. Apart from anything else, it feels kind of, I don't know, like it's sapped. And it does look strange floating into a merchant's or some house.
you can change the way you look now, so I believe.
I can. This will come in handy very much so. But if I can walk around normally, then that would be good. Quick point of it, when I take the circlet off, I'm going to try taking it off and giving it to Brother Draug and walk away. Do
You hand it towards Brother Draug, and you can feel almost like a slight hesitation.
Okay. Actually, I pull back and go, ooh. On second thoughts, I'm going to give this to Dutch, if you don't mind.
Is it?
Can I try and give it to Dutch? My circlet, Skystone
No
circlet.
hesitation.
No, I don't think I should leave it with you, Draug. I don't think Mr. Jack is too fond of the Queen. I'll give it to Dutch.
Yeah, I'll put it on.
There's a slight
My friends,
electric tingling, but other than that, nothing.
Do I start walking around now?
No, you are still.
Interesting. I'll have it back, actually, Dutch, if it makes no difference.
So,
Pop it back on his little head.
just to get this straight, the item that we are supposed to be securing is the cubic gate.
Yes, I wouldn't bring it up in conversation. But like I said previously, find a way to push the conversation towards relics of intrigue. This could be with regards to this false character that you are pretending to be, or even based on what I said to him myself. I said I was a dying man, and I had an interest for powerful items. I don't know. Use it. Do what you can. And I have faith in your ability to spin an elaborate story to find us information, valuable information. But do
I
not
just
give us
want
away,
to clarify. Of course. But I just want to clarify. What is the main goal of this meeting? Is it to locate this object? Is it to locate Celeste? Is it to find the object so we can buy Celeste back? What is the main thing we are driving towards in meeting the Mercers?
We need to steal the cubic gate so that we can trade it for Celeste, who is being held hostage.
Of course. Okay, very well. However, whilst you have given me the name Hammond, I am hesitant to adopt Hammond's persona this time, whilst I have not had the greatest of experiences with that most sentinel of a man. I
Just
would
create
feel...
a new character. Be a new
Yes, I would feel some
face.
guilt over framing him to all of the Xanthar crime families.
Well, the
I
second
think
name
with that
I gave-
surname, they might be able to find him.
That's not his actual surname.
No, but it'll lead him in a direction.
Well, I've
So,
said the name now, so you're going to have to use it.
That's what I will use.
But
Do you
again,
intend for Richter to potentially steal this cubic gate there and then, or more to scope out what it is, where it is, and how we can get in?
Yes. Well, I think the discussion is open with regards to what the rest of us are going to do. It might be wise that I do accompany you, but invisibly. And if you are led to this place, then I can use my skill set to look for, security
eyes.
systems, things like that. I do not know where this is going to lead us. I think this should purely be, we should go in with the aim of just getting information.
Yeah.
At this stage, we do not know at all how this cubic gate is being held.
I think we
Wise
can
words.
flap
Information
about on the wind,
is key.
see where they take us.
And finally, the name of the man I'm meeting.
His name is Armin. Is that right? Abedi.
Betty.
Abedi. Abedi.
A Betty. Yeah.
Armand
I think I've confused timings. So, I don't think you have slept a second time.
No, we haven't.
I still don't think so. So, the whole ordeal with escaping the Spire of Questions happened in the early hours of the morning. And then you finally got, sort of like by the morning, you got to the dock rats, at least like the others did. You slept, so you woke up like late afternoon.
Yeah.
The brothers went and saw the crows then.
Yeah.
While Rufus did his training, etc.
Yeah, we caught Richter briefly as he woke.
While Richter did his bitties, you went off to do the crows, and those guys all did that. We started this session then, and you came back. So at the moment, I will say it is like later dinner time-ish of the first day. That's it. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have 2 days with the amulets anyways from tomorrow, so we've got to do everything in those 2 days.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think I may have like accidentally kind of skipped time, because I remember Rufus trained late with Ganon.
No, they just trained in the day, didn't they?
Yeah.
They just trained in the day while we were away.
Just for a bit longer.
Yeah, I think I did like you. I feel like I was like, you need to train a bit longer. But that all happened today anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
And it's getting later.
Did you manage to get those amulets? Those items?
We have to collect them tomorrow in the morning.
And do you know what they truly do?
They should protect whoever is wearing them from divination magic.
Very useful.
They don't change appearance of the wearer or anything of the such.
Dutch, can I ask a favor?
Yeah, of course.
Could you fetch me a bowl of seawater from the docks? I don't feel like I can go outside without being possibly watched.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get in a bucket of water.
Sure.
You're a beautiful young orc.
Some time passes, but eventually Dutch returns.
Perfect. Richter, do you mind?
Please.
I'll gesture to your sleeve. Roll that up. Okay. Zook spends a little bit of time. He pulls out some like really dry bracken leaves and like crushes them up and finds another little sort of mortar that he puts up, lights a little flame and starts to like burn the bracken leaves. And he kind of creates this ash, and then he starts like sprinkling the seawater in a circle around Richter. And he mutters in some like old druidic language. For some time, he starts like carving out big symbols with the seawater and sprinkling ash sort of through them. And occasionally he will like nick the back of his hand and like flick blood sort of in some places. He takes some of Richter's hair and pulls it out, smells it, and then burns that in the middle, and then tells Richter to stand there. He gets some of the ashy paste and rubs it all over Richter's arm. And then he just smooths away the bit that resembled I think Zook spotted a 6-limbed figure. And he just, he smooths away the ashy paste that was on that bit of the arm. And he looks up to Richter and is like, this may hurt a little bit, but I have to do it. It's fine. It's only a little bit of blood. And he gets his bone dagger out and he draws a small circle and carves it around the 6-limbed figure. And it's like he takes the knife and he goes, Angar Druika Falach, and he pulls the blood away and it burns up in pure white and green flame as the flames spread around Richter in a large circle, and all of the seawater starts to like just raises up in a kind of strange undulating wave, and they're both discs spin in opposite directions, and then and I cast sympathy antipathy on Richter.
Holy shit.
So this basically, as I said, the words in Druidic means never a demon, and essentially I choose a kind of creature which shall be fiends, and I'm choosing antipathy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just metagame really quickly.
yeah,
Is a fiend a devil? Does that come under
fiend
the same
includes
thing?
demons and
Fiends
devils.
are
Does it?
demons
Oh,
and
okay,
devils.
yeah.
And
Fiends
Oh,
are
some other
basically
things.
hellspawn.
Yeah.
You fiend!
But you've got hell and you've got
You've got the
abyss.
9 hells
Yeah,
and the
they're
abyss.
all fiends. Yeah.
It's all gone.
So, antipathy. The enchantment causes creatures of the kind you designated to feel an intense urge to leave a 60-foot area around the target. When such a creature can see the target or comes within 60 feet, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened. The creature remains frightened while it can see the target or is within 60 feet of it. While frightened by the target, the creature must use its movement to move to the nearest safe spot from which it can't see the target. If the creature moves more than 60 feet from the target and can't see it, the creature is no longer frightened, but the creature becomes frightened again if it regains sight of the target and moves within 60 feet of it. This lasts for 10 days on Richter.
So you've just sprayed me with 10 days worth of demon repellent spray.
Demon repellent.
Yeah.
That's
A
awesome.
fucking Pokemon, man.
So
you'll be real
like meta
stanky.
for a second. Even if if I'm just walking through a district, I don't even know there's demons around, and some
They
demons
run.
happen to be in a building that I'm walking past, they'll suddenly freak out and not know why they're freaking out
and they
run
they
away.
Start
can't even
legging
see.
it.
They just
So
need to move
goddamn
away from the
cool.
road.
That's so
Will
cool.
tieflings freak out at him because of this?
They're not fiends, technically.
But they are infernal.
They have infernal blood,
infernal
but
blood.
yeah, I mean,
They're
I'd
not
probably
fiends,
play it. They're not technically fiends because they're humanoid. They're like,
Maybe they're just a bit
Mortal.
unnerved.
I reckon they would like feel sick
pick up
and
on
like
it.
look to. They just
Oh,
wouldn't.
man.
They kind of have a mild reaction, I think.
Yeah.
I hope Armin Abedi isn't a tiefling.
He's not.
That would be bad.
Hey, put him on the defensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, you're just that person when someone walks in, he goes, "Oh shit, I know he doesn't like my kind."
So you should feel
I have an aura of racism.
a little bit better.
Brilliant.
It would be a good idea to stay close to Richter.
Thank you for
Everyone.
this, Zook.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for this, Zook. That seemed like deep magic indeed.
Well, let me explain what happens. So.
It does something.
It
God.
absolutely does. Something.
You explode.
Oh,
Shannon, no!
Okay.
Imagine if they just appear like we don't care.
Thank you for summoning us.
So,
This is going to react
as you
bad with the red
cast
lining.
this incantation, this high level magic, the most powerful magics that you've seen so far.
Mm.
You carve the circle into Richter's arm, and you can see where you carve it. Little tendrils of shadow beneath the skin, almost like raising up, like it's on fire, but it's like shadowy, flamey tendrils. You can see where the skin has been kind of cut. It's kind of peeled back and almost allowed it to kind of escape. It's not continuing off, it's just flickering under the skin. The water rises, and with the brilliant light, you finish the spell. Richter, there's a huge, sharp pain in your arm. As you look down before you, Zook holding his hands, closing his eyes before you, ripping its way from this section of your arm, tearing through that small hole, out and out. A shadow emerges from it, screeching, its face almost like opening and tearing. You hear this as it rises up and out before you. You clutch at your arm, it just kind of shooting out, almost like bigger than the previous ones you've seen, bigger than the ones that you fought near the portal to the fire realm, bigger than the ones that came out of these shadow cultists. It rises above you, all three of the others standing a ways back outside of this circle. You can't see what's happening within, but now, as the bright light fades, you see this dark shape, almost engulfing where the ceiling is. Like that entire section. It hits the ceiling, releasing from Richter from your arm. You
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. Where did you go?
You take 17 points of necrotic damage as your arm is left kind of blackened and charred, but the shadowy tattoos have gone. And above
Rufus,
you, rippling on the ceiling, almost upside down, you see this giant shadow. And I'd like everyone
Rufus.
to roll initiative. Sorry, Josh.
Yes!
So roll initiative, everyone.
Mike, add a D8 to that, bitch.
It's happening.
That's
I
right.
need to
Mike.
wee myself.
And
Punch the fucking shadow!
after initiative, we will go for a quick wee. Because I'm
Mike,
desperate
add a
as well.
D8.
So
Add a
let me
D8 to
write
your
down
initiative,
this.
son.
Oh
Why?
yeah, you did the gift of
Gift of
alacrity.
alacrity.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go so fast.
Okay, you're in there.
Oh,
You can
oh
do
my god.
things.
What's the gift of
Oh
alacrity?
Oh my god. Oh my
I'm just
god,
going to
okay.
use this as the thing for now
Oh yeah, sweet.
because
I
it's
didn't roll
it's
that
kind of
high.
similar.
I forgot. I don't add my proficiency to it because I'm not a rogue, a ranger.
Sorry, Doc Rats.
yeah, this
didn't
is
mean-
this is
I
where
didn't
we
mean
are,
for
isn't it?
this.
It's not the same pit where they fought the rats. It's
Good idea.
like,
We're all.
it's like a different place, but it's basically the same. But it's not cobbled. It's like dirty sand and rat droppings and stuff.
Wait. Do you add proficiency? What do you add to initiative?
Just dex.
Dexterity.
Dex.
Okay, that's cool.
Right.
Oh my god.
Guys, so can I just say what happened?
Would you roll
So
a 20?
I rolled a natural 19 on the dice.
Yeah.
Add 6, add +5 for gift of alacrity, so it's a 30.
Oh my god, a 30.
Wow.
I got a 27.
What?
I thought I did good, and I was like, ah. But yeah, this is fucking great. I love this. Let's fucking go! Always ready to go,
Oh, I'm
motherfuckers.
literally going to wet myself, so I'm going to have to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's go for a wee. We'll have a quick break.
Yes, man.
I need to make a juice.
Holy shit. Well, this is unexpected, but a great place for this to happen.
This is
Ooh.
so fun.
If anyone's in the chat, I wonder if Chris is still there. Dinner's in the chat. Dinner's in the chat.
Back in 5.
Back in 5. We'll be back.
You.
Chugga da chunk, chugga da chunk, chugga da chunk, 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 chunk.
Oh, there you go. Oh, what's the matter? What's the matter? Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, baby girl, what's the matter? Oh, what's the matter? You doing that? Please. Hmm? See it, ready? Yeah, just absolutely there, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. I've got a battle cider.
Oh, do you? I got a battle Earl Grey.
Fierce.
Yes.
Oh God! I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Ah.
Awesome use of that spell.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that'll be very handy.
It's great.
Oh.
Oh man. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a theme. Zook, watch out.
What?
Oh
What's
God.
happening?
Oh, it's in our space.
I put it beneath, but it's above you. It's like 10 feet up against. It's almost like dry ice as it hits the ground and ripples across the floor.
Yeah.
It's doing that, but on the ceiling. It's like there is a mound,
Oh, yeah.
but it's kind of like rippling out across the ceiling, like
Right.
smoke.
So this is where you don't want lead in your ceiling. Is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. In fact, we're gonna have to. Oh, maybe this will just be like whack it till it's dead.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
So it just while before people are here. So the target that it's frightened of. Well, it rolls a wisdom save. The target is Richter, or is it you?
It's Richter.
It's Richter,
Yeah.
and the DC is your DC. I
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah. And it
Spell save DC.
it has it wants to move. The enchanted creature causes to feel intense urge to leave that area and avoid the target.
Yeah.
And it is
Frightened.
if it fails the save, it's also frightened of the target. I will mark on here actually. So there are stairs. We'll keep it the same as this. There are stairs that lead up here and here to the only exit, which is here.
Yeah. And I guess the door's open.
Yeah, the doors. It's there are doors, but it's like an archway with two old doors there.
Hmm. Okay.
Reedly D, it's gonna kill Zook. Doodly Hey, the cogs, nice.
Oh, good
Very
cogs.
good.
Aha.
Oh, nice and
Look at that.
blue, nice bluey cogs.
Yay.
Zeech cogs.
And my umbral spell portal.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah. Turn things into cheap gribblies.
If the cogs are neon, does that make it steampunk or cyberpunk?
Both.
Yeah,
Oh,
Either.
both.
oh, I've lost my connection.
Either.
Just disappeared for a sec. Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Weird. Yeah, you're a little delayed actually, Aiden.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't then. You're fine.
Have you
Oh, your
guys
video's
seen
caught up
the
to you.
version in the Warhammer chat?
I did, I saw it.
Mm,
But
I
fine.
want to do that, but what would I do it with for Age of Sigmar? Like, what army would I use?
What is this?
there's
Oh,
no
this-
time for this Warhammer chat, for we are in
No.
the moment.
Well, we still need Josh.
And,
We're in the dun.
well, Josh only got a 13. What did you get, Dutch? You have yet to input it into the thing.
What was I get? Was it 27 or 28? 27, I'm going to say.
Okay.
And I got my shit pushed right in.
18. Yeah, it was 27. 18 plus 2, then I rolled a 7. Yeah.
Oh, you rolled a 7 on your D8. Nice.
Yeah, I know, man. It's fucking sick, isn't it?
Okay. So let's send that.
Ooh, 27, son.
I know.
So
Damn.
just to imagine it, it is the large open area of this sand kind of pit. It's just a dank, huge kind of cavernous basement area, and to put this shade into perspective, it's rippling across the ceiling, but it has one kind of main large form in the center, which is that humanoid kind of, bulky upper torso. And it is bigger, if not the same-ish size, but a humanoid version of Zakai, the green dragon that you fought. Like, it is big. And it's just there.
Are we in a domed room?
The room, the ceiling of the room has a few kind of like arches to it, a few kind of different nooks. The only way in and out of this chamber that you're aware of, in terms of like doorways, is back up here.
Right.
There is no, ignore this well in the middle. That's not a thing that exists in this room. However, there are grates and grills and other things potentially about, although some may be buried under sand. And with a 30,
Crazy.
uh,
I rolled very well as well as the.
Dylan Gray, you are up first, reacting fast.
Without even like really thinking, he just senses this malign presence and obviously hears it just push out from the space where Zook and Richter are stood. And yeah, without even a second thought, he just whips his longbow off his back and
Yes,
just takes a knee and the black veins surge up his arm, imbuing his longbow with his crimson right damage. And also, he's just been chilling on his shoulder just as quickly. Ook, the owl beast, the miniature owl beast, takes wing and harries the shadow creature, just flying straight at it. And a shadowy arrow shaft is whipped from the umbral quiver as he takes aim and releases said arrow. Ugh.
Make your shot with advantage as Ook is assisting you.
I'll make this a thingy shot as well.
Sharpshooter shot. Yeah.
Yeah, sharpshooter shot.
You channel Hammond's advice.
yeah. Hammond. That's a 27.
A 27 hits.
Cool. Okay, so roll some dice.
More.
So, sneak attack is...
Oh, friends, it's been a while since we heard the rolling of many dice.
Yeah. So 5d6 for sneak attack, 1d6 for the 1d6 for the quiver, and another d6 for the crimson right, and then a d8 for on top.
Is that actually where the shadow is? It's within Zook and Richter.
It's above them on the ceiling, about 10 feet up. I just put it there so you can see them. Yeah, so it's not beneath them, it's above them. It's like rippling across the ceiling. It's Josh, you missed this, but I was describing its immensity and of its form. The humanoid form kind of sits in the center, but it kind of ripples out, and its entire circumference is probably the same size as Zakai.
Zakai.
The green dragon. It's big. This thing is big. And it's been existing. It's like a parasite for you, Richter. It's like, how the fuck did this thing exist in my arm?
I rolled exceptionally well on the dice. There's 2 6s, 2 5s, and 8 on the D8. So the total is 54 points of damage.
Whoa! 54 points of damage as the umbral quiver lets forth the umbral arrow. It slides through, hitting the ceiling above and shattering out. You see the form of this huge greater shade just like evaporate where it hits, almost like a small spiral, shattering out and then reforming again. Its form kind of quivers with the impact of the psychic damage, and it seems to take full effect, as you would expect. No resistances to psychic damage this time.
Using the effect of the Bow of the Storms, I'll go for a second sharpshooter shot.
Nice.
With advantage. Oh, yeah, that will be a 28 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so just the 2d6 this time.
Yep.
Oh, another 8 on the... I'm keeping that d8. That's 8. Spicy. 11, 12. That'll be 18. 28 points of damage.
28 points of damage. Making a total of 82 points of damage.
Wow.
With 2 shots.
Damn. Holy shit.
And I'll run up behind. I'll run up to the stairs, and I'll just crouch behind the
railing.
The railing, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it railing? Yeah. Well, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, it's like a banister.
Banister. Yeah, banister made of stone.
Cool. Yeah, you crouch down behind there. Next up, also with the gift of alacrity, Dutch, you are very fast. Just behind your brother.
Just a few moments later, after Dylan's shot and Dutch realizes, oh fuck, there's a shadow, and stops picking the dirt from underneath his thumbs, he pulls out his snake and...
I'm imagining like either one of those IKEA snakes or just like a long rubber snake.
I'm just imagining him unbuttoning his fly and just going, wow.
So
That's just a chode. It's a grower.
it's
Or
not.
snake. What do you do with your snake?
So if I've got 5 foot of reach, how high would I have to jump to hit it with the snake?
It's 10 feet. It's 10 feet sort of above you. So you've got an extra 5 feet on that. So you can hit it. Its form is sticking down low enough with the whip and the reach, but you need to walk right under it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Right. Move yourself forth.
I can't really, because I'm on a map without a mouse.
So you can step. Let me move you to the front. You can step forward, moving around Richter to the other side. Richter's still. He's clutching at his arm, which is. You can see it has no more like shadows crawling around it. There's no tattoos on it at all. But it's almost his entire like hand up to here has gone all like withered and black.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you stand beneath it. It is above you, kind of recoiling away from Richter.
I'm going to rage.
You begin your rage.
Dragon. Big smoky stinky green dragon. And then I'm going to lash out with the snake.
Okay, make your attacks with your snake whip.
Do you know what? I'm going to risk it and I'm going to declare haymakers. So I'm hitting with disadvantage.
That is correct.
Oh, fucking whore. One of them was a natural 20. But the other one hits for 21.
A 21 does not hit.
Holy shit.
You miss with the first, but it goes wide. It goes sort of just like wildly cracks across the ceiling. But you know you missed that one. So you go for another direct hit, and you crack straight into the center of the shadow. But it just moves like it moves its center torso apart, and the crack just hits air, and then it reforms again. It's fast.
So for my second attack, I'm not going to do a haymaker. It's a fucking natural one.
Oh no.
After I rolled a 20 with the dice, I was like, oh shit, rolled a 20. Oh, not going to do a haymaker, roll a 1.
This time frustrated, you just whip it forwards, but it's to no avail at all.
That's one rage used. On nothing.
That ends your turn, unless you are moving anywhere else.
Yeah, I'd like to move out of its range, please.
10, 15, 20...
No, I wouldn't. I'd like to stand exactly next to Richter.
Okay, you stand next to Richter.
What way?
Okay.
It's got to run away from you.
Next up, it is Zook. Also quick, but just you as you go to move, insanely fast, responding to this, finishing and seeing this kind of like this great shadow appearing and hitting the ceiling. You go to respond, and as you, whatever you're doing in your turn, 2 arrows fly in, hitting the shadow, like ricocheting off as Dutch just almost appears next to you, striking 3 times with the whip. It's like they moved quicker than you've ever seen them move. Whatever magic's Draug used on them before has been impressive. But you move also with the speed of the wind.
Quick question. The storm rune, which was given to me some time ago, says I think you keep it until
it's
until
gone.
You've had a long rest.
It says once you invoke this rune, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. So like you invoke it and then you can't invoke it again.
Yeah.
and then you finish a long rest, and then you can invoke it again.
Yeah.
So unless
I don't think it doesn't last forever though.
It says
okay.
on that it does.
Regardless, he's changed the day, so
Okay.
it wouldn't exist anyway.
Gotcha.
But we
In
can
which
find
case,
out what the times of it were for later use.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, Zook suddenly looks up and goes, "Oh, not one of these! It's a big one!" And then he's going to zoom back. Does it look like it can reach me from 10 feet away?
It's big, but it doesn't have like really long limbs or anything, so you're unsure.
Okay, not going to risk it. I'm going to duck low and disengage and zoom all the way over to the south, as if you were, south side of the
40 feet down.
40 feet down.
5,
I don't know
10,
if
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Cool. So you use your action to disengage.
Yeah.
As you disengage, you see from its like main torso a tendril, like a flame like tendril, whip out but miss you because you disengaged.
Thank fuck. I thought I'm not risking it. That's me done.
It says the rune remains on an object until you finish a long rest.
Okay. Gotcha.
End of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Next up is the shadow. So, I need to make a wisdom saving throw for the for the shade, as it might be scared of Richter. That is a natural 4. Its pluses definitely aren't going to beat your DC, Zook, of an 18. So it hits the ceiling, and you can see it is repulsed by Richter. It has flung itself out from his mortal flesh and is just like recoiling on the ceiling. Let me just roll quick. It's a bad roll. Not understanding where it is or what it's doing, it recoils immediately just away from him. And is going to move 5, 10 in this direction. 15, 20, 25. It's going to move up to there. It moved out of your range, Dutch, so you can, if you want, make an attack.
Please. Come on, Das. I'm not going to hit it with a 17, am I?
No, you whip the whip out, but unfortunately it catches naught but air.
Oh, shit.
Moving away from you, you can see its form almost like shaking with the kind of dark flames coiling up it. And it extends one of these arms out from the side, and then another, and then a third, and then a fourth. They're not like hand arms like normal. They're more like long tendrils of shadowy flame. And it is going to whip them at the one that is afraid of. So it has disadvantage on these attacks. But it is going to make them on Richter all the same.
Okay.
Did Richter get an attack of opportunity?
Oh, no, I didn't give Richter one. Richter, you can make one.
I mean, it just... Why, is my bonus?
Yeah, technically you've got reach, but I think if it moves 5 foot out, you can still make the attack if you want.
Oh, god damn it. Where the hell's my dice gone? I was
Although
just holding it.
It's weirdly, it's kind of a weird one. It's still within his threat. It hasn't left Richter's threat range.
Does Richter have a 10-foot reach?
I do. I have a
His
10 foot.
halberd.
Yeah. Right. Here we go.
Oh, actually, I would say you don't actually have your halberd even out. like this has caught you unawares, and you're clutching your arm. And I would say you can punch it if you want, but that would use your reaction.
Can I blast it?
Yeah, you might as well hang on to your
do
reaction.
you have Warcaster?
No, I don't.
Then you cannot.
No.
So it's gonna make
Good shout, Dorothea.
It's gonna make its 4 limbed attacks at you. So its first. Wow, I rolled a 17 and an 18, so the disadvantage is a 17. So that's going to be a 24 to hit.
Yes. Yeah.
So the first one does hit.
Ah.
And it's going to deal 9 points of necrotic damage to you.
Okay.
And I'd like you to make me. Let me check what type of save it is.
On save.
I'd like you to make me a. Oh no! There's no save. There is no save.
Oh.
You
Good.
simply take.
Get
Good.
sucked.
Oh no! Apologies. The limb attacks don't drain strength. Something else does. So it's just 9 points of necrotic.
Okay.
Oh no! I didn't add 2. So, sorry, 11 points of necrotic. My bad.
Okay.
The second attack is an 18 to hit.
No.
The second one strikes in, but this time I'll say you reach for your halberd and you manage to kind of like parry it away with the Heartstone halberd. The third, the disadvantage, it's bad. That's going to be only a 16. Second one, you manage to parry away again.
Now.
You slice the halberd forwards and it cuts the limb, but it reforms again. And the final one, fourth, is an 18. So no.
No.
The disadvantages came into play.
Christ.
That is its go, because I did the limb attacks instead.
Nice.
It's going to remain where it is. It's coiling almost against the wall, but it's lashing out with its multiple arms. Zook, you can see on its head 2 more limbs protruding and spiraling up like horns, like flames. And the shadow, it's almost its physical form is coming out from the wall, but it kind of looks almost like it is, flat against the wall, flickering by some firelight that doesn't exist. And it looks just like a shadowy kind of version of the kind of symbol or demon kind of humanoid figure that you've seen in various markings and etchings. Ending its go. Ruthus, you're up.
So just to clarify, can we hit this thing from the ground?
So Richter has reach, and so does Dutch. You could not, because it's like 10 feet up against the ceiling in the corner of the room.
Still. What about the tendrils? Can I hit those?
They lashed out when it hit.
I see.
Turn into a giant.
I'm not a rune knight anymore.
Oh, that's shit.
Persuade it to come down to you.
Yeah.
Face me.
Talking
If I cast Longstrider, would I get taller and be able to hit it?
No, you just get faster.
No, your legs, bro. I'm a cricket man.
Okay, cool. Okay. So while everyone goes in and makes their first attacks, and Rufus is seemingly responding quite slowly, it is actually because he has taken a stance holding his shield in front of him, and has his eyes closed, and he's muttering to himself. if you were close enough to hear, he's whispering a sweet prayer to the king within the shield, asking him to grant him his strength for the coming battle. And suddenly a great light bursts out from the shield momentarily, and Rufus's hair and his cloak perhaps starts to raise up a little bit like an invisible wind. And then Rufus opens his eyes, and all of a sudden, and I'm going to use a bonus action to manifest Echo. So meta-wise, Rufus is now an Echo Knight. So
Ooh.
I can use my bonus action to magically manifest an echo of yourself in an unoccupied space you can see within 15 feet. It's a magical, translucent grey image of myself that lasts until it's destroyed or you dismiss it.
So, theme-wise, people see this as it's like a brilliant light that appears. It's funny because it's been described as like a shadow, but for this, I imagine instead, the visage of Rufus appears in this like brilliant flash, and it is imprinted in your vision, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing that like when you close your eyes, when you've been staring at the sun, you see the circle. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing like the imprint of the light that's like affected your gaze, but it's physical form and it's there. And I will paste a second Rufus in. Where are you summoning it?
Like I guess right in front here. It has to be within 15 feet. Yeah. So this physical 3D imprint of Rufus formed out of sort of sunlight appears in the space. And it can move 30 feet in my turn. That doesn't cost anything, so it's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to like here. Can I go through it actually?
So it's on the ceiling, remember?
Oh yeah, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Actually, you can get to here, right on the other side. And Rufus will move up to be in a flanking position. And then I will draw my bow. Can I do that? What does that cost? An interaction or more?
You could draw your bow. Yeah, you don't have it's just an interaction to draw your weapon.
Yeah, actually, can I draw my bow and then interaction draw my sunblade later?
If you have your bow out, it will cost more than just an interaction to put the bow away and then draw your blade.
Yeah,
I would say that's where it's like, putting something away.
I don't think the bow's
going
to do anything.
Out.
No, I won't do that. Rufus will then, at that point, summon the sunblade, and on the opposite side of the shadow, backed up against the wall, you see the echo do exactly the same thing, mimicking Rufus in the exact same way, and then I'm going to ready action because I can't reach it. So it's ready action for when it moves close enough, or maybe the tendrils come down that I can reach and slice out at them.
I mean, I will say that you could leap and strike it, and you could roll me an athletics check. Like as you're running towards it, you summon the echo, and you could try and leap up and like slice across it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try that.
Okay. Roll me an athletics check then. Are you using your shadow version, your echo, as the one who's attacking, or are you doing you?
I'm gonna alternate. So first Rufus will strike, and then the echo on the other side will strike, and then I will strike again. And then I'm gonna unleash our incarnation to make one extra attack whenever you take the attack action for a fourth strike with the echo.
Okay, so to make it thematic, you both leap and you make 2 strikes. Like you go.
Okay.
So both on both sides are going to make 2 strikes. So you can roll me an athletics check, and this is, if you fuck up, the echo will fuck up. The whole thing will be bad.
Yeah.
If you get it, you both
okay.
get it. because it's the same.
I've got
like a
2
mirror.
points of exhaustion, so is it disadvantage?
Oh, let's have a look. So exhaustion. Diddly diddly dee. So it's disadvantage on ability checks, and your speed's halved. But it's 3 levels of exhaustion. That's attack rolls and saving throws.
Right. Okay. All right. So this is not disadvantage. It's going to be 25.
A 25 to hit. Hits.
A 25 for the
a 25 for the athletics.
check.
You leap. You watch this kind of like shimmering image appear of Rufus, and they both leap up, striking across it from both sides. You can roll with advantage for your attacks as well because
we're flanking.
You're flanking.
Yes.
What?
Is the sunblade still green?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like,
I should say everyone who hasn't seen the sunblade erupts with light, and the shadow is like recoils from this light. But the light isn't a brilliant sunlight; it's a brilliant green glow. It's the same like effect. It's radiant and it's sun, but it's green. It's like a kind of like emerald piercing forest green.
Nice. Rufus leaps into the air and in a split second makes 2 slashes across the shadow, simultaneously happening on the opposite side from the echo. So I have to do each attack.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is going to be a 21.
21
to hit?
doesn't hit.
Doesn't quite hit. The echo on the other side does a 26.
A 26 does hit.
It does. It does 14 damage, radiant damage.
Radiant damage on a shadow. It has
That's what we
radiant
want.
vulnerability, so it's double.
24.
So 24 points of damage from the Sunblade on the first strike. As you strike through it, the green energy of the radiant energy just kind of like peels it apart where you strike through. It tries to knit itself back together again, but the light is like having strange effects on its body.
And as it does so, Rufus, the real Rufus, reached the apex of his jump, and as he's starting to decline, comes in with his second attack for a 31 to hit.
That
Oh
hits.
my god!
Yes, that is.
And does 11, so 22 damage.
2 points of damage.
And similarly, the echo falling on the other side gets a 28 to hit.
That hits.
And does 26 damage.
Oh, jeez. 72 points of damage. 3 strikes. You cut across as it ripples backwards.
And as Rufus and the Echo both hit the floor, as they hit the floor, they bend their knees all the way down to the bottom into the smallest crouch they can do, and shoot themselves back up into the sky with action surge. So I can attack again.
Make me another athletics check to jump back up once more.
I changed the day to
literally
trampoline night.
It's literally like Zook is Yoda when he's in his little weird floaty thing, and this is Yoda in Clone
The
Attack
fight
of
with
the
Count
Clones.
Dooku.
Where he's with Count Dooku, and he's doing those like flips all around.
That was a 19 for the athletics.
With a 19, you can leap up 5 feet without imposing yourself disadvantage. Make your strikes.
It's only going to be 3 attacks this time. Oh no, I can do it again. I'm going to unleash our incarnation again.
There you go.
Because I can do it once every time I make the attack action.
Yep. So you can do it again.
Fuck.
Okay, attack 1 is a natural 20.
Oh fuck!
It does 10. It does 19 damage, so double that.
38.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god!
On the other side, it does 25 to hit.
That hits.
Gonna one-shot this, isn't
Doing
he?
I hope so.
doing 17 damage, so 30 something.
18, is it?
17.
36.
17 times 2.
34.
34.
34.
34. Jesus.
On the other side, I don't think that's going to hit. That's a 20. I mean, no, that's not going to hit. It was like a 19. And then 23 to hit.
That hits.
22
Doing-
CAC, I think.
13, so 26.
Okay, let me add this up. That was 98 points of damage on the second thing. So overall, that was 170 points of damage. Exactly, 170.
God.
Very good.
it's taken-
Very good work.
I think that's a new Gypsies record in one turn.
Yeah, that is. That's
That
the highest
is
watermark.
Quite easily.
Yeah, even if it wasn't doubled, it's still nuts.
Yeah,
Or the 170, like
that's still
80,
fucking loads, yeah.
yeah, like 85.
God damn.
So, hang on, 154. Let me just add this up in my head.
Like, when we started playing, there were probably enemies with like 12 hit points. That's-
Less than
Yeah,
that.
a goblin has.
Yeah.
A goblin has 7.
you
hit
just,
points.
you just, my
just
God,
freaking-
you just destroyed.
You
You
killed
just,
about
land,
25
you just landed a
goblins.
nuke. Yeah.
Yeah, like if those attacks could go through multiple goblins, he would have killed like 100 goblins or something. No,
Line them
Your
up.
level.
he would have just killed a lot.
Play.
Very nice.
Just hits
Jesus.
different, you know.
With the final strike from you, Ruthus, how would you like to kill
Oh!
the
Jeez.
giant shade?
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
As
oh.
you went 2 hit points over 250, which is its hit points.
oh.
So you fucking killed it before Richter even
Radiant
got
damage.
a turn.
I've been doing all these maps over here.
Yeah.
I've opened
Oh.
4 tabs researching what.
Oh, I'm so
Oh, the
hated.
turn threat.
Oh, it's great. Thank you.
I think with the final strike, the Sunblade, this green life energy severs something crucial within the shadow, and from the point of the intersection with the blade, the fiery life energy just travels through the body of the shadow in a wave, disintegrating it as it goes until it completely disappears into nothing.
So sick.
You watch the kind of almost 2 halves as they disintegrate out, evaporate, but not quite. The small fragments seem to remain in the cracks and in the shadows. And slowly they reform into 2 separate entities.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my god.
And that is where we're going to leave today's session.
Wow.
Oh,
What a reintroduction of combat that was.
Well played.
Holy
We're,
shit.
we're
Well
fighting
played, Gypsies.
We're fighting pink horrors now.
It's
Yeah, we are.
essentially, both of these are like half the size, but there are 2 now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess that they probably pool the same hit points. Probably.
Shadow
Fast for-
Slimes.
Fast forward, and we're just stomping on tiny little centimeter shadows.
We've literally
covering
just
the entire room.
Oh.
We should probably lock the
That's-
door to this room.
That's division, kids.
So don't worry, Richter. You'll get your chance. Well played, friends.
Wow.
More excitement continues in Xanthar City. Please join us soon. We won't be able to play next week as me and Josh are both away on holidays together.
That's right.
Aha.
And
We're gonna play the session, just the 2 of us while we're away, and we'll just do all your characters, and we'll tell you what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
It's all canon,
fine.
all of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll stream it, and Josh will play everyone.
We'll all look on powerlessly.
No need to send me your character sheets. I'll just make it up.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us.
Adios.
Those who are
Thank
there,
you.
take it easy and
Au
good luck.
revoir.
Gypsies of Fortune.
Good?
Godspeed.
Good luck. Good luck.